Married with secrets. Married with secrets. Keeping secrets in a relationship, in a marriage. It's a very important topic of discussion. Very important, really, because secret is something that should be handled very carefully, very, very carefully. First of all, there are things that your partner should know. There are things they should know. In a relationship that starts with acquaintance and friendship, eventually relationship, and then courtship, and then hopefully marriage, it's not every secret you should tell somebody on the first day. An acquaintance should know, the things an acquaintance should know, the basic things, your name, where you're from. Then when you're in a friendship with somebody, maybe they should know a little more, just a little more. When you're in a relationship with them, maybe they will know a little more than they used to know. When you're in courtship, engaged to somebody, they should know a whole lot about you. When people come to me for premarital counseling and they are getting ready to marry, I always ask them about a couple things. For example, do you have a child anywhere? And I ask that question in front of both the man and the woman because he or she has a right to know. It doesn't mean that they cannot marry you if the answer is yes. No, they can still marry you, but they need to know. They have a right to know. Do you have a child anywhere? Have you been married before? Is there any sickness you're fighting? Are you on any medication on a daily basis? Is there any mental health issue you have or in your family? Those things are important. Is there anything that might prevent you from having a child? Your partner should know. Even if the answer is yes, the church can still wed you, but the most important thing is that they should know. There are secrets you don't tell me after wedding. It can be deceptive. It can be deceptive and can affect the consent in that marriage, in that wedding. So, secrets are things you manage carefully. But another thing here is how and why do people keep secrets in relationships or in marriages? A couple things. One is shame. Sometimes people feel ashamed. If I tell him this, if I tell her this, how will he feel? How will he look at me? It will make me feel embarrassed. I'm not proud of it, and then they hold it. They hold that secret to themselves. Another reason why people keep secret from their partner is fear of judgment and criticisms. He will condemn me. He will look at me as a bad person. So because of that, they decide to hold the secret to themselves. Postponing it is another one. Saying, I will tell him, I will tell her, I will tell him, I will tell her. And before you know it, weeks become months, months become years, and the secret is still there with you. Another one is lack of trust. You don't trust this person. It may not be a secret that will damage your relationship, your image, or how he or she sees you, but it's something that you're not sure that he or she can keep it. You don't trust them enough to tell them about it. An example would be a man that saw me the other day and was just telling me about the secrets, some of the secrets in his business that he shared with his wife, and before you know it, the wife shared the same secret with her cousin who is in the same line of business, and that was very painful for him. So sometimes people don't trust you enough to share secrets with you. Another one is fear of hurting your partner. You feel like if they know about this thing, they will feel hurt, they will feel pained. For example, you had a child outside of your wedlock. He is not the father of your child. If he hears such a secret or knows about it, he will be devastated, and therefore you keep on keeping the secret. It is something that you need to be very careful about. Some feel that they will lose their partner if they tell him or her that particular secret, But again, is how do you draw a balance? How do you draw a line between not hurting him and letting him know the things that he should know or that she should know? The truth is that there are things I should know. If the marriage is going to end, let it end. I have a right to know it. I have a right to know about it. I cannot have 5 children with you and none of them is my child. Do you understand how painful that is? Because the more you postpone it, one day I might know about it and I might be completely devastated. I may not be able to handle it. So there are things that I should know. There are things that I call hanging secrets. Hanging secrets are those secrets that one day they will drop. They're just hanging. They're just hanging. One day they will drop. It's better you're the one that dropped it than it dropping on its own. Because if it drops on its own, you will not be able to control the narrative anymore. But if you're the one that drops the secret, you'll find a way to, drop it in such a way that it will not cause as much harm as it should. One of the things that people should do is to test your partner. Find out how much of your secret he or she can handle. I always ask that question: can you handle my secret? In a relationship, you should find out whether your partner can handle your relationship, your secret. And don't blame me for not telling you all my secrets, because maybe you're not able to handle the last one I told you. If I told you, for example, that our last born is not my father's child, and since I mentioned that to you, you have always used it against me. How my mother was a prostitute, how my mother is this, how my mother is that. As your wife, I will not be able to tell you any other secret about my family, because the last one I told you, I've not seen the end of it. So can you handle my secret? You have to prove yourself worthy of handling my secret before I can continue to release my secrets, and vice versa. But another thing here is, how do you test your spouse to be sure that they can handle your secret? One thing I say to people is, you can start telling that story as if it's another person, as if it happened to somebody else, or something you watch on the movie. Can you imagine what I saw in the movie the other day about a woman who did this and did that and did that? Meanwhile, it's actually yourself. And find out how your husband reacts to that particular story. Because if he reacts in a way that will shock you, then chances are that he will not handle that secret. If you tell him that it's actually about you, may not be able to handle it well. Another thing is, how do you also become wise and apply wisdom? A man says hi to you at work, and you come and tell your husband, and he says, you know what, you cannot go to that work again. In fact, you cannot do anything again, even business, sit at home. You've ended up hurting yourself. There are secrets that maybe you can handle it. If it's something you cannot handle, then maybe you now need help. So I think wisdom plays a major role in all this. Wisdom plays a major role. But the truth is that many couples are living with secrets today. Many marriages are basically like secret infested. Like everybody is keeping secrets, so much big secrets, and you'll be shocked how many secrets are out there. Somebody who have children for another woman, and the wife does not know, and he's secretly sending money over there and not having enough money for the family. Or a woman who the house they live in is actually her own house, and the husband did not know, and they are paying rent to a lawyer who is pretending to be a lawyer for another person. Meanwhile, he's now channeling the money back to the woman, the wife. There's so many things out there. There's so many secrets out there. Or maybe your past life was not something to write home about, and your husband doesn't know about it, and one day he might know. But like I said earlier, there are secrets like I must know. You cannot after wedding tell me that by the way, I have HIV. It says who? You deceived me. You deceived me. You cannot after wedding tell me, by the way, I'm still married to so and so man. No, that's deceit. You deceived me. I can actually go back to the church and file for annulment because I was deceived. So secrets are things you handle very carefully. Your spouse should know as much as they should. In fact, in a real sense, they should know everything. In the real sense, they should know everything about you, and you should know everything about them in the real sense of the word. But the question is, are you worthy of knowing everything about him? Are you worthy of knowing everything about her? Can you handle his or her secrets? This is important. I think communication plays a major role. Communication. Have a good communication life with your spouse, and sit down and discuss things. And hopefully he or she will be able to understand where you're coming from. And if you need the help of an expert, look for a marriage counselor to help you unload those secrets, because it can actually hurt you holding those secrets to yourself. For how long? May God bless you and bless your home and bless your marriage. Amen.